गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातिरवनचारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातिरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Canto 11, Chapter 5, chapter entitled Narada's Teachings to Vasudev, text number 9. Shriya vibhutya bhijanena vidyaya tyagena rupena balena karmana jatasmayendandadhiya saheshwaran sato vamanyanti hari priyan khala. Shriya vibhutya bhijanena vidyaya tyagena rupena balena karmana jatasmayendandadhiya saheshwaran sato vamanyanti hari priyan khala. Shriya vibhutya bhijanena vidyaya tyagena rupena balena karmana jatasmayendandadhiya saheshwaran sato vamanyanti hari priyan khalaha. Vidyaya tyagena rupena balena karmana jatasmayendandadhiya saheshwaran sato vamanyanti hari priyan khala. Anyone else would like to recite? विभूत्या विजनेन विद्यया त्यागेन रूपेण बलेन कर्मणा धिया सहेश्वरन् जातेन धिया सहेश्वरन्. श्रिया विभूत्या विजनेन विद्यया त्यागेन रूपेण बलेन कर्मणा जातस्मयेन्दान् दधिया सहेश्वरान् Satovamanyanti Hari Priyan Khala. Word to word meaning. Shriya, by their opulence, wealth, etc. Vibhutya, special abilities. Abhijanena, aristocratic heritage. Vidyaya, education. Tyagena, renunciation. Rupena, beauty. Balena, strength. Karmana, performance of Vedic rituals. Jata, which is born. Smayena, by such pride. Andha, blinded. Dhiya, whose intelligence. Saheshwaran, along with the Supreme Lord Himself. Sataha, the saintly devotees. Avamanyanti, they disrespect. Hari Priyan, who are very dear to Lord Hari. Khalaha, cruel persons. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The intelligence of cruel-minded persons is blinded by false pride based on great wealth, opulence, prestigious family connections, education, renunciation, personal beauty, physical strength, and successful performance of Vedic rituals. Being intoxicated with this false pride, such cruel persons blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His devotees. Purport. The attractive qualities exhibited by the conditioned souls originally belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the reservoir of all attractive qualities. The moonshine is actually the reflected effulgence of the sun. Similarly, living entity reflects for a brief time period a particular quantity of the Lord's opulences. Not knowing this, atheistic persons become intoxicated by such reflected opulences, and thus blinded, they condemn themselves more and more by criticizing the Lord and His devotees. They are unable to understand how they have become abominable, and it is difficult to prevent them from going to hell. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So discussing today from 11th Canto, Chapter 5, text number 9. Before beginning any discussion, I would like to seek the blessings of all the devotees so that I can speak something from Srimad Bhagavatam which is in alignment with the Guru Parampara and which can be pleasing to all the devotees. So this particular verse, it is talking about the dangers of false pride. What happens when false pride comes in the heart of a person? Interestingly, it is not that only demons have pride. In today's day and age, sometimes it is a bit problematic to use the word pride. So arrogance is used in case of pride. So this pride or arrogance which is there, it can be present in devotees as well. And therefore, if you see 3rd Canto 28th chapter, where Lord Kapila is describing 3 kinds of bhakti, 3 types of bhakti. Bhakti in the mode of goodness, bhakti in the mode of passion, and bhakti in the mode of ignorance. So when Lord Kapila describes bhakti in the mode of ignorance, abhisandaya yo himsam dambham matsaryameva samrammi brinna digbhavo sa bhakti tamasa matihi. So he says that bhakti which is performed to give trouble to others, bhakti which is performed with an envious heart, bhakti which is performed with pride in the heart, it is said to be bhakti in the mode of ignorance. And Srimad Bhagavatam gives example of Daksha, which comes in the 4th canto, as an example of bhakti in the mode of ignorance. And then Dhruva Maharaj comes, his bhakti is in the mode of passion. And then Prithu Maharaj, that is said to be bhakti in the mode of goodness. Prabhupada many a times would talk about 81 kinds of devotional service. Prabhupada would say 3 modes of material nature into 3 is 9, and then again into 9 is 81. So basically, I was hearing a few days back, so devotee was mentioning that how it becomes 81 types. So he was saying that 3 modes of material nature which are there, Sattva Gun, Rajogun and Tamogun. Then we have 9 processes of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. So 3 into 9 becomes 27. And then each type, like Shravanam can be done in the mode of passion, and it can be in Tamasic Gun also. Like these three types which are there. Bhakti performed in the mode of ignorance, Bhakti in the mode of passion, and Bhakti into mode of goodness. So it becomes into 3, 27 into 3. That comes a total of 81 types of devotional service. So while practicing devotional service, a sadhaka also has to be very careful and see to it that what are our intentions while practicing devotional service. In Harinam Chintamani we find Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that surrender to Krishna is the primary quality of a devotee. He says if surrender is there, rest of the qualities don't matter. Just surrender. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masucha. Then in Srimad Bhagavatam, again in Lord Kapila's teachings, we have got primary characteristic of devotional service. The most prime characteristic of devotional service, which he mentions, Mat krite tyakta karmanas tyakta sujana bandhava. That day Prabhuji was mentioning that verse. That gives the primary characteristic of devotional service, that he is ready to leave anything and everything for me. And then the verse which comes before that, Titikshava Karunika Surudas Sarvadehinam Ajata Shatrava Shanta Sadhava Sadhu Bhushana. This is said to be a secondary characteristic. But if we carefully observe, Bhagavatam, right from the very beginning, it begins with having a non-envious heart. Nirmat Saranam Satam. It begins with that. Krishna begins the list of his qualities, what he wants for us to gain knowledge, the 18 items of knowledge, which are described in the 13th chapter, verse number 8 to 12. And the first two, Krishna talks is Amanitvam and Adambitvam, humility and pridelessness. So, although surrender to Krishna is a primary quality, still we need to cultivate spiritual qualities, still we need to cultivate humility in our heart and endeavor to be free from pride in order to advance in the practice of our devotional life. Because if a devotee possesses pride, then Krishna rejects that devotee immediately. What to speak of ordinary devotees? Krishna even rejects the gopis. When Krishna was performing rasa dance with the gopis, and the gopis were thinking, Krishna is dancing just with me. And they became proud. Krishna said, now I cannot stay with you. Krishna disappeared from rasa dance because gopis, they developed a kind of subtle pride in their heart. So first thing that is mentioned in the purport here, it is mentioned that the attractive qualities exhibited by the conditioned soul originally belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the first thing that a devotee needs to understand is that all qualities belong to the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada many a times in the first canto purports, he mentions, one should not be proud of borrowed plumes. So one time there was a crow, and this crow, she got a peacock feather. And when the crow got the peacock feather, the crow became so excited that I have got a peacock feather. I can apply that peacock feather on my back and I can show to others. It was wearing that peacock feather on the back and trying to dance like a peacock. But the only thing that happened was, it became an object of ridicule of all the people. Because that were not crow's plumes, that were peacock plumes. But taking those plumes, the crow was feeling, I have become very great. Similarly, whatever qualities are present in the devotee, they are a grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Arjuna was in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, we find how he defeated everyone. Even before the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna was fighting with the entire Kaurava army, including Bhishma Dev, in Virat's kingdom. And Arjun single-handedly defeated all the Kauravas. And after Krishna departed, the same Arjuna, he was defeated by simple cowherd infidel boys. And Arjuna is feeling, what is this? How come I have been defeated? I am Arjuna. I am the famous Gandivadhari Arjuna. And he says that in Bhagavatam. Tadvai dhanustadishava saratho hayaste soham rathi nripatayor namanti sarvam kshanen tadabodha saritariktam basman hutam kuhakaradhyamivoktamushyam. So he says, have the same bow. Tadvai dhanustadishava saratho hayaste. The same ratha, the same bows, everything is the same. What is difference? Krishna is not there. Krishna has taken that power. So it depends upon Krishna when to give that power to us and when to take away that power from us. So therefore, if we want to practice devotional service, we should understand that we are our devotion minus our skills and our talents. To the degree we are holding on to our skills and talents, I am a good devotee because I can sing very nicely. I am a good devotee because I can play mridanga very nicely. I am a good devotee because I can dress very nicely. To that degree, these feelings are there in the heart of a devotee. To that degree, we need to understand that there is a lot of work to perform in our devotional life. So we have to imagine ourselves sometimes that we minus our skills and talents, how would we feel? I cannot even speak properly. I cannot even play mridanga properly. I cannot even do the basic chores in devotional life properly. Just think of ourselves in that position. Then what will we have to offer to Krishna? Only our devotion. And that is what he wants. When the South Indian Brahmana, he had approached Krishna, he did not approach Mahaprabhu actually. Mahaprabhu approached him. And South Indian Brahmana, if you consider what qualities he had, externally, what kind of skills he had, he was not even able to read Bhagavad Gita. Forget about reading, he was holding the book upside down. And Mahaprabhu was so immensely pleased with him. He asked him, why are you crying seeing this Bhagavad Gita? I see you are not able to read. He said, no, my Guru has told me to read Bhagavad Gita every day. And therefore I am just trying to read. Okay, you are not able to read, then why are you crying? He said, because I see this, I don't know, like during Srila Prabhupada's time we have that cover wherein Arjuna is there and Krishna is speaking to him Bhagavad Gita. That photo we have on the cover of Bhagavad Gita. I don't think so the South Indian Brahmana had that cover of Bhagavad Gita that time. That photo would have been there. But he was just thinking about it. See, even the photo was not there. Actually, we should be so much grateful to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that these photos are the windows to the spiritual world. So even so many pictures Prabhupada gave us to reflect on the spiritual world. The South Indian Brahmana, he was just thinking about that scene. Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra and Krishna is driving his chariot. He said, wow, amazing. How can the Supreme Lord do this? He is so humble. And that is what is charming me, and therefore I am crying. And Mahaprabhu said, you have understood Bhagavad Gita. You have understood Bhagavad Gita. Now there was this one disciple of Ramanujacharya, whose name was Dasharathi. So this Dasharathi, he wanted to understand Sarva Dharman Parityajya, this verse. And he went to Ramanujacharya. Ramanuja, I want to understand Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Please explain to me. And Ramanuja said, this knowledge cannot be received so easily. He did not say like that, but that time only, his Guru Mahapurana, her daughter had come and she was complaining that my in-laws, they are giving me a lot of trouble. They are making me go 2 miles walking and fetch some water and come back. Then they are making me do all the household job. So I am very much tired. My body cannot tolerate it. And Ramanujacharya saw his disciple Dasharathi, who had come to learn the meaning of Sarva Dharman Parityajya. He told him, go and serve in that house. And then Dasharathi went. And for many months he was serving like a menial servant. Like a menial servant he was just serving. And one time a great scholar came, who was speaking something on Mayavad. And then Dasharathi could not tolerate it. And then he countered him. And as soon as he spoke in defense of Bhakti, All the people of the village understood that this is a very special personality. And they asked him, "Who are you? Who are you? Please tell." He said, "I am Dasharathi." "Hey, why didn't you tell this to us before?" And all of them, all the village people took Dasharathi to Ramanujacharya and told to him, "My dear master, this person should not do this. He is such a great scholar. Why have you got him here to do such kind of work?" And then Ramanujacharya, when he learned about what all Dasharathi did there, with such selfless heart, he was so pleased. He told him, after that he told him the meaning of Sarvadharman Parityajya. There was another disciple of Ramanujacharya whose name was Kuresh. He was also a very exalted disciple. And this Kuresh also one day came and he said, "I want to know the meaning of Sarvadharman Parityajya." So Ramanujacharya said that, it will take 6 months. 6 months you serve every day, morning, evening, do a lot of hard work, seva. Then I can tell you the meaning of Sarvadharman Parityajya. Kuresh said, "My dear master, life is very short. If you don't tell me now, if I die, what will happen? I'll die without understanding the meaning." He said, "Okay, 3 months." He said, 3 months is also a very big time. Then he said, 1 month. 1 month you have to do something. And then 1 month, Kuresh very intensely practiced whatever Ramanujacharya told him. And after 1 month, Ramanujacharya told him the meaning of Sarvadharman Parityajya. So through these examples, we see that even to understand the meaning of Sarvadharman, they displayed Vaishnava qualities. They displayed humility. And therefore, Mahaprabhu says, when Keshav Kashmiri is about to come to Navadvip, and Mahaprabhu says that, "Suno bhai sab kahi ei tattva katha, ahankara nak sahena ishvara sarvata." He's telling to his friends, "Suno bhai, listen, all my dear brothers, the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot tolerate pride. He cannot tolerate pride. Phalamanta vriksha ara gunavanta jan, namrata se tahar swabhava nukshan." He says, Phalamanta vriksha, the tree which is laden with fruits, and the person who is laden with good qualities, they all bow down. They all bow down in humility. And then Mahaprabhu says, "Now you see, soon, after a short while, this Keshav Kashmiri's pride will be broken to pieces." And we find how Keshav Kashmiri approaches. 100 verses he recites on Mother Ganges with the speed of Ganges. He recites those. And after that, Mahaprabhu says, "Okay, fine. Now tell me some faults and some good things." Keshav Kashmiri says, "Faults? In my composition? There can be no faults in my composition." And then Mahaprabhu says, 64th verse, what you said, Bhavani Bharatur, this is one thing which you have said, there is some fault in this. And this is just one fault. There are many other faults which I cannot tell you now. Can you explain? Keshav Kashmiri was dumbstruck. No words were coming from his mouth. And he was thoroughly defeated. Thoroughly defeated. And at night, he was praying to Mother Saraswati, "What happened? How could I be defeated?" And Saraswati told him, "You foolish person, today actually you have got the greatest jewel in your life. The greatest jewel, Gaur Chandra, you have obtained him. He is my master. And you have got his darshan today. So without delay, just go and surrender to him." And when Keshav Kashmiri surrendered, Mahaprabhu accepted him. So we find at all places how devotees, when they had pride, they were not accepted by the Supreme Personality. Even in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, we find Vallabha Bhatta. He told to Mahaprabhu, and when he first met Mahaprabhu, he was the person actually who spoke that verse. Without being empowered, you cannot preach. What is that? Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartan. He was the person who told to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then the same Vallabha Bhatta says later that when he later saw the associates of Mahaprabhu, he was like so mesmerized by them. Wow, what kind of associates they are. And he was feeling like a crow in the midst of all the swans. And he said, I want to invite all of them for prasad. He invited all of them for prasad. And he really felt humbled by their behavior. The next day he went to Mahaprabhu and he said to Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu, I have written a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, which is overpowering, or which is not in line with Sridhar Swami's commentary. And Mahaprabhu refused to listen to him. He said that whoever does not consider Sridhar Swami, he is a prostitute. And Mahaprabhu, when he would again and again request Mahaprabhu said, I know only two names of Krishna, Yashodanandan and one more name, he said, Shyamasundar. Only two names I know of Krishna, rest I don't know anything about Bhagavatam. And Vallabha's pride was it was smashed to pieces. And then finally, when he understood that Mahaprabhu is just teaching me lesson in humility, he came to his senses. And after that, Mahaprabhu showered him mercy. So we all have to go from this journey of, because the main reason why we came to this material world is to show off. That is the main reason we came to this material world. And nowadays we have so many influencers in this world. YouTube influencers, Instagram influencers. Rather than influencing the people of this world, we have to make a place in the heart of Krishna. And that is what is devotional service. Being dependent on Krishna every time. Many a times we may do things, but then we may get Krishna's mercy. Brahmaji is saying that even the prayers which I am, not Brahmaji, Lord himself is saying to Brahmaji, Yat chakarthanga mat stotram mat katha budayantikam yadva tapasi te nishtha sa esha mad anugraha. He says, whatever prayers you are offering to me, Brahma, whatever tapasya you have done for me, whatever other things you have done for my sake, that is my mercy. Without my mercy, you cannot speak also. Without my mercy, you cannot eat also. Without my mercy, you cannot do anything. Everything is my mercy. But like sometimes, like there was one time a person who was looking for a parking spot. And he was praying to God, my dear God, please help me help me find a parking slot. Please help me. I want to find a parking lot. And he was going, and suddenly, the clouds opened and a sunbeam came, and he saw one space, one parking spot he found. And as soon as he found it, he looked up. He said, God, need not worry, I have found a spot. So basically what happens is that we pray to Krishna, but when things happen, then we think, oh, Krishna, it is not because of you, it is because of me. It has happened. So therefore, that humility has to be constantly cultivated for a devotee. Many years back, there was one devotee who mentioned to me, Prabhu, of all the 6 anarthas, I don't have pride. I said, really? Are you serious? And I said, okay, fine, just come to me after a few years. 2 years later, that same devotee, out of the blue, he mentioned to me, Prabhu, do you know, pride is the most difficult anartha which we have to give up. And I reminded him, Prabhu, 2 years back you had mentioned to me that you have no pride. I said, Prabhu, is it really? Really did I mention to you like this? So the journey of our anartha nivritti, see, it cannot go directly. Our anarthas, anartha nivritti, for anartha nivritti to happen, first anartha darshan will also happen. So Krishna will not remove the anartha before revealing the anartha. So we have to go through the hard pain of understanding that I am having these flaws in my heart. My heart is so dirty. and then Krishna will cleanse the heart. So Krishna will make us go through that particular path. It is not that Krishna will directly say, oh, I will wave some magic wand and all your anarthas will go away. No, it won't happen like that. It is a journey. So when we are undergoing this journey from pride or arrogance to humility, we need to understand that we have to stop showing off to the people of this world, and we have to show off to Krishna. And what should we show off to Krishna? Do we have anything to show off in front of Krishna? Only one thing we can show off in front of Krishna: our fallen condition. And when we show off that to Krishna, like if you see Sanatan Goswami, he is in front of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sanatan Goswami is not telling, Mahaprabhu, do you know? I know 11 languages. Mahaprabhu, do you know? I was the home minister in Nawab Hussain Shah's government. He was so impressed with me that he himself got me to his government. Mahaprabhu, do you know? I have made a nice Vrindavan, a replica of Vrindavan in my palace. He did not say all these things. Mahaprabhu, do you know? I serve so many devotees. When they come in our palace, we serve all the devotees. He did not say anything of that. The only thing which Sanatan Goswami said was, I don't know. Who am I? People call me an intelligent scholar, but I am a fool. And that is what conquered Mahaprabhu's heart. And Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, they are saying, Jagaya and Madhaya are more elevated than us. We served Malechas, they didn't serve them. And they say Jagaya and Madhaya had only one fault. What fault they had? They had committed some sinful activities. That's what their fault was. But then he says, all faults, the mountain of faults can dissolve just by one Namabhas. So what is so great in that? But Mahaprabhu, if you want to be really called, if you want to really be called as Patita Pavan, then you have to deliver us. If you deliver us, then you will be called as Patita Pavana. So we find all the great devotees. If you find Srila Prabhupada's prayers on the Jaladuta, he writes, "You're unfortunate, insignificant beggar." So when we are going on this journey of spiritual life, we have to become a beggar. Even a beggar is proud of his penny, but we have to become a beggar who doesn't have anything in his life. And not a beggar for one day every month. We have to become a beggar every day. And not only every day, every moment. And that's what we are doing while chanting. We are begging to Krishna. And when we beg to Krishna, then Krishna becomes pleased to grant us mercy. One time when I was in my 4th grade, the teacher was asking to all the students, what do you want to become in your life? And then one child, 4th grade, he said, I want to become a beggar. And all of us laughed at him. He wants to become a beggar. But then after coming to devotional service, if we are asked, what do you have to become in devotional life? Then the only answer that should come out of our heart is, I want to become a beggar of grace. Because when we become beggars in front of Krishna, then Krishna says, oh wow, what wonderful attitude he has. Even in Narad Muni's case, he had those 4 qualities. He was not naughty, he was not interested in sports, he did not speak more than required, and he was humble. So by those qualities, the Bhaktivedantas got pleased. So we don't have to beg to Krishna alone, we have to beg to devotees also. Amito Kangala Krishna Krishna Boli Dhaitava Pache Pache. So we have to beg to Krishna, beg to spiritual master, and beg to devotees. And we keep on begging, we will become the richest person in this world. But still, the mood of begging will not go away. The mood of begging will not go away. In the spiritual world also, the devotees are begging. The gopis are begging for Krishna's love. Nanda Maharaj, when he is approaching Uddhava, he is telling to Uddhava, please grant us love and devotion to Krishna. Please help us so that our minds are fixed on Krishna. So this mood, when we cultivate, it is the safest mood. And even we'll just end with this. Mahaprabhu, although he says Ashlishyava Padaratam Pinashtumam, surrender everything. Before that, in the third verse, Mahaprabhu again is talking about qualities. Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadina Kirtaniya Sadahari. So therefore, it is very important for a devotee to develop Vaishnava qualities, beginning with gratitude and humility. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. That's a gratitude, humility. Both these qualities are extremely important in a Vaishnava's life. So we'll pause here. Any comments or reflections anyone has?
Thank you so much for the class, bro. I was just thinking, like, in front of Krishna, Guru, senior Vaishnavas, we all will be, like, naturally will be humble. We don't have to show off with them. In front of Krishna, even if you show off, it doesn't matter to him. It is insignificant. But the challenging part comes with the devotees, with the equals and juniors. We just tendency to show off. So how to avoid those things?
If you see shastrically, Narad Muni says, Gunadikan mudam lipset anukrosham gunadhamat maitrim samanad anvichen. He says try to develop friendship with others, and with those who are below us, he says try to be compassionate to them. So yes, the tendency of show off may be there in front of juniors, but again, if you find Srila Prabhupada, now everyone was his junior. But how humble was Srila Prabhupada in front of them? So you see, the expression of humility may differ, but the attitude of humility has to be there. Like Prabhupada was sitting on a Vyasasana giving class to his disciples. Was he humble while giving class, or was he not humble? He was humble. While he was cooking prasad, was he humble? Yes, he was humble. When he was chastising his disciples, was he humble? Yes, he was humble. So therefore, the definition of humility, or the definition of absence of pride, Prabhupada writes in the 13th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, 8th to 12th purport. He writes, humility means not to be anxious to find the satisfaction of being honored by others. So generally, when we are in front of juniors, we may want to pose off as a superior Vaishnava in front of them, pose our skills, our talents. Rather, we should express our humility and our devotion in front of them, because that devotion ultimately will attract. The external skills, they may attract others' minds, but they will not charm a person's heart. So if we want to get closer to somebody's heart, if you are genuine practitioners, then definitely even juniors by that particular expression. So it is not that when you go to a college program, then you tell to them, I'm fallen, I am lower than a blade of grass. No, nothing like that. But then the focus has to be, I have come to serve Krishna. Like when His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj, he would give a class. Before giving the class, he would pray to the Paramatma present in the heart of every person in the audience. New people. Just pray to them. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, he is offering obeisances even to the neophyte devotees. So when we see such examples, then these examples can inspire us to have that mood of humility and mood of not showing off in front of juniors. Because even if we show off, see, they are not going to be very much charmed by that. It will only be lasting for a very, very, very short while. So So it becomes very important that we become genuine. And as we become genuine, Krishna himself, he will give intelligence how to deal with this person. And then Krishna gives dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. When Krishna gives the intelligence, then our relation with every person will be perfect. So these are some thoughts. You want to add something? Yes.
And thank you for your class, Prabhuji. I was thinking how, like a personal experience. Yesterday I had some guys call me up and they wanted to jam, get together and play music and jam out. And I was telling them how they're not on my level, for me to jam and play music with them, And I was being pretty much honest. And so today I got up and I was thinking, man, I was kind of a little egotistical. I should call them up today and say, let's get together and jam. And to me, it's okay, like the situation with the, I think was it Sudama Brahmana, where he had a tinge of pride in his renunciation. Krishna gave him opulence. Srila Prabhupada, even though he was prideless, he would ride in a Rolls Royce. You touched on that because of certain things. So when that dawned on me today, that I should just, get together with them and play anyway, because actually it's not that they're not on my level. If they were not on my level, if there was not something for me to learn, then the situation would not be there for me to take an opportunity to learn something. So my question is, how can we continue to get, how can we get the mercy to realize, when we're being prideful, somehow it came to me like, oh, you should not do that. So, but how can we get the mercy to know when we're being prideful?
That comes by sincere practice. As we go on practicing spiritual life, we understand that I was not performing well here. Maybe there was a tinge of pride, like you said about Sudama Brahmana's example. So we understand, as we undergo situations in our life, we understand that I was a bit wrong here. And with respect to the previous question as well, one another definition which is given for humility is not to think ourselves less. I am fallen. No. Humility means to think less of ourselves, more of others and more of Krishna. So when you were asking the question, I was reminded of Srila Prabhupada. How Srila Prabhupada, when he would do kirtans in New York, in the 26th 2nd Avenue, all musicians would come with their music instruments. And I'm not sure if they would perform in the right rhythm, but Prabhupada was happy that they are engaging their talent in the service of Krishna. Other times it also comes. In Miracle on 2nd Avenue, Mukunda Maharaj writes that one time Prabhupada was doing a kirtan and somebody was playing kartal offbeat. And Prabhupada just looked at him and he understood how to play it rightly. And he understood, and then Prabhupada again began with the kirtan. So it also depends upon the relationship you have with that person. How do we treat him? But yes, we have to engage everyone in the service of Krishna. And when we do so, when we share with others, that is also another reason, another way in which we can remove the pride from our heart. One time Prabhupada asked to Yamuna Devi, Yamuna, are you teaching cooking to others? And then other lady, she said, no Prabhupada, she is not teaching cooking to us. And then Prabhupada said to Yamuna, Yamuna, if you don't share with others, you will become proud. You will become proud and envious also, like that. So you can share with others.
Thank you for that nice thoughts. So, like in Bhagavad Gita, it is written that whatever a great man does, the people follow. So, if we if we are not proud of what we have accomplished or show to other people, like what in spite of our limitations we were able to accomplish, then we not setting, like not trying to set a good example on others. And also like I forgot what I was going to say. My mind is, humility like is not something you can also acquire artificially until Krishna humbles you. It is not something which is artificially you can believe, yes, I am humble, until you realize in your very own self by the elements of forces of nature how limited are we in our capacity. So we can think that yes, we are very humble, but our mind and heart does not believe it until we are brought to our knees by the forces of nature, which is also by the power of Krishna. So we cannot fake it. We cannot fake it until it really happens to us. So I forgot the question I was going to ask. Sorry.
So it is not necessary that we have to be humbled in order to become humble. Humility can be cultivated also. Like for instance, you are thrown in the middle of an ocean. If you are thrown in the middle of an ocean, how will we feel? With no one, entire vast ocean is there. We will feel naturally insignificant. And this is what happens when we continue practicing devotional service. We get experiences, we understand everything cannot happen by my grace. What I can do by myself, I cannot even, Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. For us to lift a huge weight also becomes difficult. So when we practice devotional service and go ahead, so it obviously depends upon the advancement in devotional life as well. Like for instance, when we are very far away from a mountain appears very small to us. Similarly, when we are far from Krishna, we appear big and mountain appears small, Krishna appears small. When we go very close to the mountain, oh my God, I am so insignificant. So to the degree we go closer to Krishna, to that degree we can become naturally humble. At the same time, by reading of Shastras, by associating with devotees, like when you associate with devotees, when we are alone, we might be thinking, oh, I know so much. When you associate with devotees, you understand, hey, I was not knowing about this. So when we get the association of devotees, when we hear from others, when we practice devotional life, so naturally through those experiences in bhakti, humility is brought about in the life of a devotee.
Yes, one more question I remembered. So what was I going to say? Forgot again. Yes, one of the elements of spirituality is utsaha or encouragement, which can be only gotten by recognizing our accomplishments. So if we do not have any encouragement,
Utsaha it is not necessary that in order to have utsaha, we need to focus on our accomplishments. What accomplishment did Prabhupada had when he came to America? What was his accomplishment? No accomplishments. But he had faith on the spiritual master. He had faith on the teachings of Krishna. He had faith in the holy name. So the definition of enthusiasm is given as endeavor along with intelligence in the right direction. So even if 100 failures are there, still a devotee will continue. Therefore, one of the symptoms of bhava stage is asha bandha. A devotee never loses hope. So if enthusiasm only is due to accomplishments, then Prabhupada should have been the most, pessimistic person when he would have come to America. But he was the most optimistic because his faith was not in his own. That is what he writes in Markini Bhagavad Dharma. My dear Lord, I don't know why you have brought me here, but you are a magician. You can do whatever. I will endeavor, but you take care of the rest. That is what he says. Hope that makes sense. You had something, Prabhuji?
I was wondering that regarding that Bhakti Misra, Jnana Misra Bhakti and also karma mishra bhakti. So because you are discussing about that different anga of devotion, so can you little elaborate about that bhakti mishra gyan and or karma mishra gyan? So also in that these three types of modes also being influenced inside that. So anyway,
So the first thing that we need to understand is, without bhakti, any path cannot attain spiritual perfection. In any path. Like for example, Gyanis. If they want to attain perfection, they need to have an element of bhakti yoga in them. Otherwise, if they have no element of bhakti yoga, they don't go anywhere. Shreya Sritim Bhakti Mudasyate Vibho Klishyanti Ye Kevala Bodha Labdaye. Brahmaji's prayer. So it is like beating an empty husk if no bhakti is there. Similarly, if only karma is there, no bhakti is there. Again, 1.5.12 that mentions Naish karmyam api achyuta bhava varjitam na shobhate jnanam alam niramjanam kuta punashashvad abhadram ishvare na charpitam karma yadapya karanam. Naish karmyam, you are doing activities api achyuta bhava varjitam. Achyuta bhava is not there. Na shobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. It does not look good. It does not lead to any benefit. So first thing is, without bhakti, no process can be successful. Some amount of bhakti is required. Now, when they are mixed in different proportions, they are said to be, they obtain different nomenclatures. So there are three kinds of bhakti. The first bhakti is called as Shuddha Bhakti, where a person performs pure devotional service. Second kind of bhakti is called as Guni Bhuta Bhakti. Guni Bhuta Bhakti means the bhakti element is very less and the other elements are more. So then it is termed as Bhakti Mishra Karma, Bhakti Mishra Jnana. So bhakti is mixed in karma. Majority is karma, but little bhakti is mixed in that. I like that. And other is called as Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti. In that, what you said about Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti. So bhakti is prominent, but then he feels that some amount of karma is needed for my bhakti. It is different than Uttama Bhakti. Like for example, if somebody feels, I need to do a job in order to perform bhakti, then there is a mixture here. If somebody says, in order that my chanting should be proper, I need to do some pranayam. It is without that my chanting cannot happen properly. That becomes Yoga Mishra Bhakti. If somebody says, oh, I need to learn Sanskrit in order to practice my Bhakti Yoga, perfect my Bhakti Yoga, and some kind of Jnana Mishra Bhakti, I like that. So, we have examples in our scriptures also. Kardama Muni had a little tinge of Jnana in his practice of devotional service. That is what is mentioned. Then Nava Yogendras, they had a little bit of yoga, like that, Yoga Mishra. So in this way, there are different gradations which are mentioned about bhakti. But when we come to devotional life, we have to practice Uttama Bhakti. Then our Vaidhi Bhakti will start. Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. So here the difference between Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti and Jnana Karmadi Anavritam is, we can use them as an aid, like karma. Now I am using my hands, legs. I am using my hands for worshipping the Lord. I am using my legs for going to the temple. I am reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Jnana is there, but it is not covering my bhakti. If somebody's jnana or karma is covering their bhakti, it becomes Jnana Mishra Bhakti or Karma Mishra Bhakti. So covering in the sense, again, if somebody feels that I need to have this Ayurveda thing, without that my bhakti is not successful. Without that I cannot do only. So that depends upon the intention. It is not generally about the action, more about the intention. So our intentions have to be very pure. And if intentions are pure, it becomes Shuddha Bhakti.
In other words, all these bhaktis are adulterated.
adulterated, yeah.
And that means
Uttama
we need
bhakti is only pure bhakti.
pure devotion.
Uttama is pure bhakti. And therefore jnana karmadi anavritam. It has to be uncovered by that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavat Puran ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.